is up, guys? Phoenix here, and welcome back to the start of a new pixel art tutorial. So, this is going to be Ochako Uraraka from the My Hero Academia series. We have a bunch of My Hero stuff on the way for you guys, as you guys highly request this stuff. I'm going to try and work my way through the tutorials. But first off, for the disclaimer, to the start of the build, yeah, the build is going to be about 175 by 175 in width and height. I'm starting the build from the left side, so if you have your thing plotted out, go all the way to the left side of your build, and we'll start from there. Also, if while going through the tutorial, if I say up and to the left, or down and to the left, up and to the right, or down and to the right, most pixel arts are actually linked through diagonal blocks like this, where they're not directly touching. So that's what it means, and we're going to be using the grass block and the block of coal to help us with that. And what I mean by that is if I say to go up and to the left from this top block right here, what that means is you can switch to this grass block, which I like to call a placement block, because it helps us bridge those gaps. And you can go either up or to the left, and then you would place your two blocks or whatever. Same if I was to say go up and to the right from this block, you can go up or to the right with your placement block, switch over to your coal again, and then place your blocks from there. Alright, so starting off this build, what we're going to first want to do is we're going to lay out a piece of coal just right here all the way on the left side, and this is starting the left shoulder. So if you have your plot lined up, like I said earlier, you're not in the middle right now, you want to be all the way on the left. We're going to work our way all the way to the right, as you can see on our camera screen. I might need to adjust it a few times, but that's fine. From here, we're going to put a placement block on top or to the right side so that we can go up and to the right, 2 vertical, 1, 2. And from that 2 vertical, we're first going to go to the bottom block right here, and we're going to add an extra 3 pieces of coal to the right. 1, 2, 3. From there, we can then go to the top block in the 2 vertical, put a placement block on top so that we can go up and to the right, 2 vertical, 2 more times. So we have the placement block, 1, 2, that's 1. Let's do it again. 1, 2, that's 2. And if you zoom out, you can see we have this weird L shape we created with the 3 flat right there. But we also now have these extra 2 verticals connecting off of it. From there, we can put a placement block to the top or right side and go up and to the right 1 single. Up and to the right 2 flat, so placement block 1, 2. Up and to the right 4 flat, so placement block at the top. And for this segment so far, you can just keep putting your placement block to the top or right side as you finish each part. It's going to keep going to the right for a little bit, so maybe just putting it on the right side is okay. So put it on the right side, and we're going to go up and to the right 4 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Placement block on the end. Up and to the right 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. Placement block on the end. Up and to the right 2 flat, 2 times in a row. 1, 2, that's 1. Placement block again. 1, 2, that's 2. And just make sure you go back each time and delete these extra dirt blocks as well, just because you don't need them there, and they can kind of they can add up if you forget them, and then you can get confused later when you need marking blocks. All right. From there, we're gonna go up and to the right 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. Up and to the right 4 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And from this 4 flat, what we're gonna do is first we're gonna start from the left side, and I want you to count 3 blocks over. So 1, 2, 3. And on this 3rd block, or the second to last block from the right side, you can put 2 pieces of coal on top. 1, 2. And this is why I wanted you to mark the dirt off, because we're going to mark these 2 and come back to it later. But if you had a lot of dirt just floating on these other blocks, it'd be confusing on which blocks are to be deleted and which ones are marker blocks. So this 2 vertical right here is for the hair, but we're not doing that yet. So what we then want to do is go to this final block on the right side right here. And we're going to put a piece of dirt on the right side. And go down into the right 4 singles. 1, 2, 3, 4. From those 4 singles, we can go to this 1 all the way on the bottom right here, and we're also going to add 2 to the left of it. So 1, 2, which then kind of links back with this one that was right before it and creates this weird 4-block pattern, kind of like a Tetris piece. If you want, we're going to come back later and complete this for the shoulder, so we can actually mark this left one right here. We're not going to work with it right now, but as you can see, we now have 2 spots marked off, the 2 vertical right there, and the 1 single right here. We're going to come back to those later. But let's first go to the right side over here, and continue by putting a placement block to the right, so we can go down into the right, 1 single, down and to the right 2 flat, 1, 2, placement block on the end, down and to the right 10 flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you're new to these builds, you guys know I always love to do the left to right part of the build first, so that way I can fix the cameraman in place, which is why we have so many of these spots with markers on them that we get back to later, because I prefer to do the shoulder to shoulder as quickly as possible and then work on the other details. Now from this 10 flat, if we go to the left side and count over 4 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, we can add 1 single below that, just like this, and then mark that single so we can come back to it later. There's going to be a couple of these spots. It's pretty simple. We're pretty much going to just drag this to the ground, but I just don't want to waste the time on it. I like to make my videos like 15 to 20 minutes, so I want to try and reach the next shoulder as quickly as possible. So from this 10 flat, let's go to the end and put a placement block. And we're still going to keep on putting our placement block to the right of the final block each time I say something. So let's go up and to the right, 2 flat, 1, 2, placement block on the end. Up and to the right 1 single, placement block on the end. You're starting to see a pattern. Hopefully you're getting to the swing of things. Up and to the right 2 flat, 1, 2. Up and to the right 3 singles now, so count this carefully. 1, 2, and 3. And from that 3 single, we're then going to go to this top one right here, and I want you to put an extra block on top of it. And from that extra block on top, we're then going to go to the left side of it and put 2 to the left, 1, 2, and then we're going to go to the right side of it and put 1 to the right, which creates this weird 4 bar on top of that single. So those 2 to the left that we added, we're going to mark those and come back to it later, but this 1 on the right is what we're going to continue working with. We're instead going to just add 1 coal to the top and then put a placement block on top of it. From there, we're going to go up and to the right, 2 singles, 1, 2. And from that second single, what I want you actually to do is go below it and put 5 blocks going straight down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. If you need to double check this length, it should be 6 tall, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you have that, that's good. And we have that extra just 1 at the top. So there's like this bar right here. It's this single, 1 on the top, and 4 below. Now the way I want to reach the next shoulder is up to, I can either work with the bottom of this 6 or the top. I think working with the top of it will be a lot more effective for the pixel art, just for getting shoulder to shoulder. So what we're going to do is we'll mark the bottom of this 6 and come back to it later, but from the top of the 6 we're going to put a placement block on top and go up and to the right, 7 vertical, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Up and to the right 4 vertical, 2 times in a row, so placement block on the top or right side, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I said 2 times in a row, so then we're going to put another set of placement blocks and do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. From there, we're going to keep on going up and to the right, so you can still put your placement block on the top. We're going to go up and to the right 3 vertical, 1, 2, 3, and then up and to the right 4 vertical, 1, 2, 3, 4. And from that 4 vertical, what I want you to do is we're first going to go to this block all the way on the bottom right here, and we're going to add 3 to the left, 1, 2, 3, just like that. I would say mark this block all the way on the left right here, but I don't know if we're going to come back to it. This is probably going to get connected when we finish one of those blocks down there. So you can mark it. If you forget, I'll probably have some way of hopefully reminding you that this was here. Maybe just mark it, actually. It sounds a lot more efficient for you guys to just mark this block on the left side. And from the top block into 4 vertical, so this is the bottom block we went to do this, the top block, we're then going to put an extra coal to the right, like so. Zooming out, just make sure yours looks like this, or use the right hand camera screen for assistance if you need to. We are going to need to adjust the cameraman shortly because he's yeah, this is not enough space. Anyways, from this 2 flat that we've now created up here in the top right, we're then going to go up and to the right 2 flat. So let's put our placement block to the top or right side, and we're going to go 1, 2. And from that 2 flat, we're going to go to the right block in it. And we're going to add 3 to the bottom. 1, 2, 3. And 7 to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this should be 11 in length, so if you need to recheck, just make sure you count 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Perfect. Hopefully you were able to follow along. I don't think I was too confusing there, though if you are new to this thing, and every time I do a My Hero build, there are a couple of new faces. People get lost fairly quickly. So let me just try and shift the cameraman over a little bit. And hopefully this is enough for this current build. It should be. We're almost halfway. Actually, no, it's not going to be enough. We're not even halfway through the body yet, so this shouldn't be covering half of our screen. That's how I can kind of measure it. Alright, this should be good. Alright, from the bottom of the 11 now, what we're going to do is we're going to go down and to the right 6 singles, so we can put our placement block to the bottom or right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down and to the right 2 flat, 2 times in a row. 1, 2, that's, whoops, 2, that's 1. 1, 2, that's 2. Down and to the right 1 single. Down to the right 2 flat. 1, 2. Down and to the right 2 singles. 1, 2. Down and to the right 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. And this is around the halfway point in the chin. So if this was like, if you added your second camera like how I do, this should be around the middle of the screen. So maybe I did back out a little bit too much with the cameraman, but it should be fine. We just need to make sure it fits onto frame, and then I'll probably refocus things for part 2. Anyways, from this 3 flat, we're now going to go back up and to the right. So you can still keep your placement block on the right if that's where you were putting it. But if you were putting it on the bottom, you need to now put it on the top. So we're going to go up and to the right 1 single. Up and to the right 2 flat. 1, 2. Up and to the right 1 single again. Up and to the right 2 flat 2 times in a row. 1, 2, that's 1. 1, 2, that's 2. Up and to the right 1 single. Up and to the right 2 flat. 1, 2. Up and to the right 4 singles. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're at the second part of the neck, kind of like how we had over there with the 11 vertical. It's going to be just a strip of vertical coal, but we're also going to use that to connect to the rest of the jacket. So from here, we're going to go up and to the right 12 vertical. So put your placement block to the top or right side and count carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you can go back and delete these extra dirt blocks. And from that 12 vertical, I want you to count up 5 blocks from the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on that 5th block right here, we're going to go to the right side of it and put 3 coals going to the right. 1, 2, 3. Alright, now it's time to kind of bring this thing back down, kind of like what we have on the left side. So we're going to put our placement block to the bottom or right side and go down into the right 5 vertical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down into the right 7 vertical, so placement block on the bottom or right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Except from the 7 now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top block in it and keep our placement block up there. I accidentally deleted it. Or you can just add one to the top of the 7. And we're going to go up and to the right 2 flat from here. 1, 2. Now, before we continue with this 2 flat, you can mark the bottom block in that 7 vertical because we're going to come back to it later. But we're going to be working with the 2 flat and bringing that back down as part of her shoulder. So let's go down into the right 1 single. So placement block 1. Down into the right 2 vertical. 1, 2. Down into the right 5 singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down and to the right 2 vertical. 1, 2. Down and to the left 4 singles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down and to the left 5 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is going to get a little bit curvy because part of her hair does dip into her shoulder, but that's fine. We're just going to finish that part of the segment of the hair and then get back to her shoulder. So after this 5, we're going to go down into the left 1 single from the left side of it. So put your placement block to the left or bottom. Then we're going to go down into the right 6 flat. So placement block on the bottom or right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From here, we're going to go up into the right 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. Up into the right 2 flat. 1, 2. Then from this 2 flat, we're going to go to the right block in it, and we're going to put 1 right below it. But we're also going to mark this top right corner piece right here to come back to later. Because like I said, I'm just trying to finish this part of the build right now for part 1. We're going to do all the detail stuff later. So from this bottom block, we're then going to go down into the left from it to put a placement block to the bottom or left side. So we can go down into left 1, 2, 3 blocks. 1, 2, 3. And not 3 blocks, I meant 3 singles. So it connects like this. Hopefully that came across clearly. Down into left 2 flat. 1, 2. Down into left 5 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down into left 2 flat again. So placement block to the left or bottom side. 1, 2. And from that 2 flat we just created, on the left block, we're going to put 1 block underneath it. But also on the left block, we're going to go up into the left 1 single from it. So placement block 1, which creates this shape. And the reason we're doing that is because we need like a little spiky tip in her hair. All the detail isn't there yet, so it doesn't make much sense, but you will see later. Anyways, we're going to then go to this bottom block we added to the left block. And we're going to go down into the right from it, 2 singles. 1, 2. Down into the right 2 flat 2 times in a row. 1, 2, that's 1. 1, 2, that's 2. Down into the right 11 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then go back and delete this extra dirt right here. And now it's time to start raising up this part of the hair and then bringing the shoulder down. So we're then going to go up into the right 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. And from the middle block into 3 flat, we're going to put an extra coal underneath. And we're also going to mark it, kind of like what we did over there where we have that 1 single on the bottom that we have marked. We're going to come back to that later. But then we're going to go back up to the 3 flat right here. And on the right block, this block all the way on the right, we're going to go up into the right 3 singles. So put our placement block to the top or right side. 1, 2, 3. Up into the right 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. And from this 3 flat, we're going to go to the block all the way on the right and put 1 on top and 1 below it. We're then going to go to the bottom part right here and put a placement block underneath so that we can go down into the right 2 flat 3 times in a row. So 1, 2, just like that, except we need to do it 3 times. So let's add a placement block and do it again. 1, 2, that's 2. 1, 2, that's 3. Perfect. Down to the right 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. Down into the right 2 flat 2 times in a row. 1, 2, that's 1. 1, 2, that's 2. Down into the right 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. Down to the right 2 flat. 1, 2. Down to the right 4 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And from this 4 flat, what I then want you to do is go to the final block on the right side over here. And first, we're going to put 1 on top and mark that 1 on top because we'll come back to it later. But then also from that last or 4th block right here, we're going to go down into the right from it 2 vertical, which should touch the ground. So we're going to put a placement block on the bottom or right side. 1, 2. Perfect. And what that does is frames the left to the right side of our build. So I can now move our cameraman in actually and let's create the space, I guess, for what it's going to be framed in, because he was kind of zoomed out a little bit too far. So now I can zoom in with the cameraman just a little bit, and it creates a better vision for us for the next build, or the part 2. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this part. If you did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more pixel art content. I'm probably not uploading any of these until I finish the entire tutorial, just in case if I take a break again, I don't want to leave you guys hanging. So as always, this is Phoenix, and I'll see you guys later.